Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this is a Matchbox Superfast CJ6 Jeep. It entered the 1-75 series in 1977 at number 53E and remained until 1982. It could be found coloured in green, a rare yellow, or this initial 1977 to 1980 release in red. They were fitted with either yellow or black interiors along with the tan canopy. The metal baseplate incorporated the bumpers, tail lights and a winch. Here's one in sublime condition. And here's a 1975 CJ6 Jeep in which the casting is based. The CJ6 Jeep was a stretched version of the ever popular CJ5. Its wheelbase was initially 20 inches or 508mm longer than the CJ5, but grew from 101 to 103.5 inches in length in 1972. It was originally introduced as the Willys M170 in 1953, before the civilian version debuted in 1955. Aside from the longer wheelbase, the M170 is distinguishable from its shorter counterpart by the passenger door opening, which extends back to the rear wheel arch. US sales of the CJ6 ceased in 1975 after 20 years of production. It was never particularly popular in the States. Most were sold in South America and Sweden, where sales ran until 1981. It was also built in South Africa and Israel. During that 26-year span, only 50,000 were made. The CJ began life in 1944 when wartime production of the related Willys MB wound down. Plans for a civilian Jeep had been drawn up, and in May 1944, a lightly modified MB appeared as the CJ1. No examples of this remain, and it is unknown how many were made. 40 to 45 CJ2s were built between 1944 and 1945, but none ever made general sale. It was not until the Willys Overland CJ2A became available in 1945 that the public could purchase the first mass-produced four-wheel drive car. Still reminiscent of the MB, the CJ2A differed from its military stablemate in the 7 instead of 9 slot grille and its bulging rather than recessed headlights. Over 214,000 were built until 1949, when the CJ3A launched. This lasted a further 4 years, though a one-off prototype CJ4 was built in 1951. The 3A was replaced by the 3B, the same year Willys was bought out by Kaiser Motors. A short while after the CJ3B came the CJ5 in 1954. The 3B continued to be produced until 1968 and in Japan as the Mitsubishi Jeep through to 1998. I shan't go into the deep history of the CJ5 in this video. I will save that for another restoration. But during its near 30-year production span, 603,000 were built. In 1976, the extended wheelbase CJ7 launched. It was 10 inches longer than the CJ5, but 10 inches shorter than the unpopular CJ6. This Jeep had another long production run of 11 years. Almost 380,000 were built before its replacement by the Jeep Wrangler in 1986. The CJ8 launched in 1981 as the long wheelbase version of the CJ7. This in fact had the same wheelbase as the CJ6. Known as the Scrambler, it again was not a sales success. Just short of 28,000 were built in 5 years of production. A final CJ vehicle was produced mostly for the export markets between 1981 and 1985. The CJ10 was based on the Jeep J10 pickup. Now you can see why I skipped the history of the CJ5, as I've quickly run out of time and I'm now reassembling my CJ6. All I need to do is align the tail lights cast into the base with the openings on the body, press down over that lone rivet post and secure it with an M2 screw. Here is how my patchy looking CJ6 Jeep appeared as I found it. It looked to be getting a touch of corrosion around the exposed metal areas. The bumper and winch looked particularly tired. Most areas had paint that was flaking away, while the foil print had rubbed off of the wheels and the yellow interior plastics were pretty unclean. The canopy looked in good nick, which made me think this rather uninspiring model deserved a second chance. And here it is now, my reinvigorated Jeep, in a fresh coat of Italian red all over. Gone are the exposed metal patches, replaced by a smooth, glossy coat. I've used my trusty chrome pen to retrim the wheels, and at the end of the video I swapped these to some custom greenlight wheels, so stay tuned for that. The canopy just had a quick bathe to spruce it up, but the yellow plastic interior has washed up really well. My personal favourite parts of this restoration is the polished base, including the bumper, winch and tail lights. These were so dull and lifeless before, but once again, Autosol and elbow grease have come to the rescue. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this restoration. Drop me a comment, I always read what you guys have to say. And be sure to check out my Instagram and Patreon for all the latest. All that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.